Chili Chat with Eric. I'm joined by my friend Logan of Tunnel Fission Games, who just released his first season of his podcast just the other day. I've got to listen to some of it. It's been really great so far. It kind of comes across as like a lecture series. Logan, do you want to introduce yourself and tell
Sure.
people?
I'd love to. Hello, I'm Logan, and I am the host. I guess your guest lecturer today. Yeah, it does feel a bit like a lecture. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm sitting there explaining to them how to play their games. But
Yeah,
it's
it
a
didn't come
collection
across
of
like that. If it, like the first episode was, I felt like I wanted to take notes. Like not that I was being forced to take notes. It was just kind of like I want to write some of this down for future reference. This was really good information. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like
Well, thank you. It's been something I've been working on for honestly like 2 years. And I had been missing. Did you just trigger a trap?
yeah, of course I did.
My
Yeah,
God. Yeah,
the action
five
starts
seconds
right away
in.
in Icewind Dale.
Yeah, so I had been tooling around with it for years.
I know that I
Um,
know you put. I've seen on Twitter and stuff that you've posted a few times about like that you're working on this. It's coming out, so I've been like waiting for it to come out. So I'm excited that this is lined up perfectly for you. Like the timing makes
yeah.
this is great. I'm really glad you gave me like a sneak peek at it. That was great. So
Yeah.
yeah, and the labor of love is as obvious straight away. Like your sound quality, the fact that you dropped what 10 episodes at once. Like you're a madman.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. So I recorded all 10 over. So I wrote all 10 over the course of like 3 months,
Okay,
and
you
then
actually wrote stuff
recorded all.
down. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah. I didn't have a full script, but
Okay.
I had the bullet points. So I
Okay. Yeah.
talk a
Yeah.
lot about like holistic design, and of course, in order to do that, I have to holistically design this thing all the way from the beginning. So I had to like chart it all out, put it in a OneNote, go, okay, as I progress, what do I need to move? How do I need to move these blocks around? Go back to the source material, make sure I really understand it. And then also, I'm a very kind of pragmatic person at the end in my day-to-day job.
Okay.
My managers are always like, so what does that mean, Logan? What am I supposed to do with this information?
Yeah.
I can't be like, but the numbers are beautiful. That's why we need to do this. Instead, you have to kind of sum it all up for the people. So that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. And I also felt that there was a kind of a gap in the conversation that was happening out there in the broader tabletop role-playing game world. There's a lot of really good discussion about thoughts and feelings and ideas, but how can you stitch it all together? Because there's a lot of people who are talking about storytelling
Hmm.
and they don't talk about it enough specifics for me, who's like, I'm not an English major. I didn't spend a lot of time in school learning the basics of like English and storytelling. I probably should have, considering where I am now and the stuff that I'm doing. But I just wanted to put it all in one spot and go, here are my thoughts and feelings. So 10 episodes, 20 minutes a piece. I think that comes out to about 3.5 hours worth of blah. Enjoy.
It is enjoyable too. Like it's not like I don't know. I didn't feel bored. And like I found that with
Oh.
a few other podcasts where it's just like a guy
Hmm.
dumping stuff on you. Like I
Yeah.
was engaged through the whole time. Like I even feel like right now, after you talking right now, I want to go get a piece of paper and start writing stuff down that you're saying.
Well, my hope someday is that I get asked to go to like a class or a con and be like, here's a whiteboard and some markers. Please write out all of your ideas. And I'm like, all right, I'll put on the vest with the leather patch elbows and I'll have glasses that sit on the bridge of my nose.
So I've heard if you want to go to a con and do a panel, it's actually best if you design your own panel and present it to the con people, and they'll approve it or not. So
Oh, that's
keep that knowledge.
you
If
want to
you
do
ever,
you want to do a con, buddy? We can do it. You and
let's
me.
do it. Let's do it. I used to joke that I was going to start up PAX North. It was going to be an Icewind Dale only convention. I don't think it would be very popular though. But yeah, I'm definitely down for. I have barely gone to cons, and I think I need to get into it more. I've been to a
Yeah,
few,
I've
and they're a
never.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never been, and I hear good things.
I just have a hard time finding like knowing about them in advance. I don't like search them out. I have a friend that always does fan expo every year, and he has like he used to bring his son to it. His like 2-year-old son he would bring to fan expo, and like he would do it. He would go on like the Thursday, the quiet day, and he would like make a pen for his son in the seating area because there wasn't a lot of people there, and they just let him. Like the security didn't stop him. He would just make a little pen, and his son would like run around while he's watching like whoever give a speech. It was the funniest thing. Oh, I can't even pay attention to Icewind Dale right now.
There's a lot of pausing and unpausing, and you're killing Yin Ti abominations.
Yes,
so
yes, exactly. So there is. I mean, in a regular D&D game, there's a lot of pausing because that's how the game works. It's like, okay, it's your turn. What are you gonna do? You don't. Yeah. If you don't pause in this game, you don't have that experience. Whereas pausing is like, okay, I'm setting my guy up for his next round. You know, especially with 6 people you're trying to like manage, you have to pause. You just can't do this game. So, like, I'm running into problems because there's traps in this room. I'm playing an all-bard party, which is just stupid as hell. So I can't
Why
see
am I only
traps.
finding out about this now?
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about my shit anymore. Talk to me about this bard fucking party that you moved into.
Through the band. So, the first the first person is the Whirlwind. So this is enhanced Icewind Dale, so it's better than the original version. It's got some stuff added to it. So there are some kits to the classes. Like, so this is a blade. So she's two-handed fighter. She goes in with long swords. She's my tank. I love her to death. Currently, she's poisoned from these traps, so that's not good. She's going to lose health constantly.
Right.
She's my favorite. This is Balger the Blowhard. He's my least favorite. He's a jester. He sucks. All he is he's just a frontline attacker for me. That's all he does.
Right. A body to get in the way of the
That's
traps.
what he is. He's to take hits for the Whirlwind. Someone like said something to me, and it made me think of this pun for Greta Stromberg instead of Greta Thunberg. So she strums things. So, anyways, she's a Skald. She's one of my backline fighters. She does a lot of my spells. Like she memorized Fireball because in Icewind Dale, to learn spells you have to find scrolls or buy scrolls. So Fireball is a limited spell, so I have to like choose who gets spells. So I gave her Fireball because she's awesome.
What a fun way to play the game by not letting people have access to the resources to play the game.
Well, the thing is, if you have like 1 or 2 wizards like you normally should play, that's not usually an issue. The fact that I have 6 spellcasters, I have to like divvy it up between them to have resources for all of them, type of thing. I'm mainly concentrating the spells between Greta and Kindred because they're intended to be my backline people. He's my regular bard, just a regular old bard. And then so these 2 back here are my singers. They're the only ones that ever play their songs because like a bard song doesn't stack with another bard song, but a bard song will stack with a Skald song. Follow?
Weird.
Yeah, because the songs do different buffs to the group, right?
Okay.
I mean, I know Pathfinder has similar things. You can't have 2 deflection bonuses. You can only have 1 deflection bonus. You can't have 2 dodge bonuses. So, I mean, this game has that going on. So
it's almost as if this game predates Pathfinder.
Almost. By a few years, I think. This is, I think, advanced D&D rules or something like that. I can never remember.
As soon as you see to hit AC 0, that's
Thaco.
AD&D.
Yeah. Good old Thaco. So these 2, their main job is just to sit back and sing to buff the rest of my group. That's their only job. So really, I'm running 4 people with buffs. Is kind of how the group goes.
This is ridiculous.
Fun.
You're a silly person for trying this.
Exactly. My last run through in Icewind Dale that I didn't stream or anything. I just did it for fun for myself. It was all paladins with 1 bard. So I figured like it was Lachlan or the Loud is his name, and he was just trudging along behind these 5 paladins who just like steamrolled the whole game. Like it was so easy to play with 5 paladins. The only issue was I just had to sleep a lot to heal, which isn't that big of a deal.
Right. You ever try Neverwinter Nights?
I played it. Okay.
Uh-oh. I feel like this is a story.
It's a trigger for me. So
I'm sorry.
So growing up, I was huge into Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Baldur's Gate 2. I loved them. It was like the the only way I could play D&D back then on a regular basis. So I loved those games, and like all throughout Baldur's Gate 2, it was like, oh, you want to continue your adventure, like on the loading screen, an ad would pop up on the loading screen. It's like, you want to continue your adventure, don't worry, Neverwinter Nights is coming out in a year. I'm like, oh my god, I can continue my characters, it's going to be the exact same game. It was not the same game.
Nope.
It had one
Not
character, it was bonkers, I turned it off after 20 minutes. I just couldn't do it.
Oh. Well, it's also a completely different system, right? Because it was 3 versus AD&D.
Yeah. So it threw me. I was like, what the... Character creation was all different. It was just weird, and it was just not what I wanted.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, it was... Yeah, the design also was very different. Like, Neverwinter Nights was very like, here are the rails, enjoy, it's a linear story.
Okay.
Versus, I feel like Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate kind of have this like, you can kind of go wherever you want. And maybe when you're traveling on the map, you get ambushed by bandits who murk you, and your party dies.
So, Baldur's Gate 1, there was a linear story, but there was a point in the game where it was like, hey, guess what? Here is like 50 maps for you to explore to your heart's content whenever you want. It was still a linear story, but you're able to go off the rails for a while, much like a real D&D game if you want, right? Icewind Dale was not like that. Icewind Dale is just a linear... Okay, you have to go to this next map to continue the story, this next map, this next map. So, like, Icewind Dale is very linear. They don't even give you... So the first time I played Icewind Dale, I made, like, 3 party members. Like, I'll pick up people along the way, just like Baldur's Gate. No, there's no one for you to pick up. There's no, like, deeperness to the story. The story is just like, here's the story, we're going to slap you in the face with it, do it. Whereas Baldur's Gate 2 is like a mix between Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate 1, in my opinion. There's a few places you could go off the rails, but you're still in it. Oh, goddamn traps. Should probably just level her up.
Oh, you sound so begrudgingly like, no, I guess I'll get better at this game.
I don't like leveling up in the middle of a fight, but like, I'm in a dicey situation, so I'm going to do it. It just feels scummy to me, like with the old rules of D&D. Of like, you used to have to like have your guy go away to level up. It was crazy.
Yep. Yeah, I remember I broke Neverwinter Nights. So there was you could make your own campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, I heard that was a huge thing for a while, actually. That people still
and like,
play the custom maps.
And I found a way where you could make a room with the treasure chest that gave you 6 million experience.
Nice.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be level 20 now, and like just blowing my way through the first level. Like, pack of goblins, cloud kill, excellent, phantasmal killer. Like my wizard with 105 hit points or whatever it is, somehow magic missiling people to death.
That's amazing. Yeah, I like stuff like that. I found out in Baldur's Gate, if you're a thief, there's a chest you can open up in the first place, and if you can open up this chest, it's like a $5,000 coin. It's a huge. It really sets you up for the rest of the game. And you could also do a thing where you could like export and import your character and start a new game. You'd export him with all his gear. So I ended up making a fighter thief that had an inventory full of these gems. Each slot could hold 20 gems. So like, I had all the money. And it broke the game because I could walk into these stores early in the game and just buy all the magical gear. It's like, oh, I made this
buy all the things you weren't supposed to have.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I just broke the game. And Baldur's Gate 1, reputation was a thing, and you could go to the priests and give them money to like up your reputation, which like gave you way cheaper things at the store, and it was bonkers. A lot of fun. Good times.
I see you like spending money. Perhaps you would like to spend money here for less.
And then everywhere else is cheaper for you. Congrats. Balgra is not having a good time right now. Oh, okay, he's fine. This priest was just taking him to town.
It happens so fast. I'm surprised that you can track anything. I'm sure it's a trained eye, but all I'm seeing is chaos. Like traps are being sprung. One of your
Yeah.
people is super blurry, and I can't tell if it's a graphical defect or if it's just like an
No,
ability that you have on there.
it's an ability. She's wearing a cool sash that's so she has blur on her all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's the whirlwind. So I gave it to her for appropriate reasons.
Yeah, and it the blur effect also is going on to the flaming sword that they're carrying.
Yeah, it does her whole yeah. So if I took it off of her, um, she would calm down a little bit. What one thing I hate about this is the sword will switch hands. You see,
Continuity.
yeah, yeah. It's just like Braveheart, where they mess things up.
They want you to see the flaming sword. I bet you there's one person who put so much time in the flaming sword animation, and he was like, "Okay, here's what's up."
He did it secretly. Like he wanted to change the code. Like, all right.
You're only ever gonna see it, even if you de-equip it. It's still gonna be there as some sort of glitch.
Yeah, so I've played this game a lot, so I'm pretty. I don't play other
So
video games. That's
is this the? Oh,
this in Minecraft.
cool of
This
the
is all I've
story.
played. Sorry.
Where are we? Is this the middle of the story? Are we
Still,
near?
it's actually still close to the start, really. I'll give you a brief rundown of where we are in the world. So we started off in East Haven. It was just like on the side of a lake, and it was a town. And when we got there, there's a guy named Rothgar, and he's like, "Hey, this other town, Kuldahar, needs our help." So the cool thing about Kuldahar is it's a giant oak tree, and it emits like a warmth wave all the way around it. So there's all these farms and stuff that have no business being in the north part of the country. And so it allows these farmers to exist because it's like they're living in a temperate zone in the north. But lately, like the field has shrunk and like some evil things have been happening. People have been going missing. So Rothgar is going to take a whole bunch of people to go like help the town of Kuldahar. Along the way, the whole expedition gets wiped out except for us. So it's just up to us now to save Kuldahar. The first place we went to like try to find out what was going on was a place called the Vale of Shadows. There's nothing there affecting the town. We just killed a whole bunch of undead for no reason, really. So the leader of Kuldahar is a druid named Arundel. He sent us to the Temple of the Forgotten God to get something called the Heartstone Gem. It's like a divination gem that he thought he could use to find out what's causing the evil. When we got there, the whole temple had been wiped out, basically, except for like some guys. And we found out the gem had been stolen by the people in Dragon's Eye, where we are now. So we're trying to chase down this gem.
And this is where the Yenti come from.
So the what?
UNT?
Yes, yeah. They're the bottom level of Dragon's Eye. So the first level was like lizard men and spiders. Second level was trolls and some priests. Third level was a whole bunch more undead. There was like a necromancer that had like an undead army that we wiped out. The fourth level was like a church with all these priests. They're like, "Hey, we'll help you out. You can sleep here. We're cool people." They were actually Unity in disguise.
Nice.
And then we attacked them eventually. The thing I like with this game is like you can play along with them for a little while, and then you can attack them at your whenever you get the chance. If you have a paladin in the group, though, you're not allowed to. When you first talk to the first guy, your only option for the first guy is like, "I can smell the evil on you. Drop your deception," and it's a fight immediately. It kills me every time I usually do that because I usually have a paladin in my group. I really like them in Icewind Dale. So not having a paladin is really strange to me because I usually just kick it off and do that fight immediately. It's only this is the first time in like years that I haven't had a paladin in my group.
Well, I guess a bard is a type of paladin. It's just instead of god, it's music.
Yeah. Dicks, I want to use that shield. This is a really good shield if I remember correctly, and I don't think any of my guys can use it because they're bards. Yeah, not usable by bard. Boo. So I have to have a guy who has knock memorized to get past some of these lock chests. Oh, the baleful armor. When you play the game too many times when you have some of the magical items memorized. Like,
You know exactly where they are and how to get them.
yeah.
Yeah.
The creepy thing is like I know where a lot of the traps are too. Like I walk through a place and I'm like, oh yeah, that stone is trapped. It's like, how do I remember this? It's because I've played the game like 20 times. Friggin' guy.
Well, you know what you like, and I can't fault you for that. What am I going to do today? Why am I even asking that question?
Just more
I have the
Dale.
opposite. Yeah, I have the opposite problem. I get bored of stuff kind of quickly, so I naturally have to like move on to new and different things. And if I do something, if I marathon a game for too long, then I'll just get tired of it and I won't want to finish it.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I have to pay attention to that. I also have like super random memory when it comes to things I hadn't played for a while. Eventually, when I get it jogged, then I'm good. But like, let's see here: Skyrim, Diablos 1 and 2,
Nice.
and Fallout New Vegas are kind of like that for me, where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna go into this chest. I'm gonna punch this guy in the back of the head because he's gonna turn around, and then I'll be able to pickpocket him and push him off the cliff or something like that. I'm excited for Baldur's Gate 3 though. Did you do the pre whatever?
No,
I did the
I
pre.
should've.
It's good. It's really good. It's a very faithful recreation of 5th edition.
Really? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
They use 5th edition rules, eh? That makes sense.
Mhm.
They're really pushing 5th edition right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the most profitable year that Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons has ever had.
Ever had,
So.
yeah. Were you ever into Magic? You played a lot of Magic?
Past tense or current tense?
Either
Yes. Yes. A significant amount of Magic the Gathering. My friends and I play like Commander.
EDH.
Right? Because that's exactly. And then with the coronavirus and just us like living all over the place, we got really good at Tabletop Simulator. So I play Magic and
okay.
Warhammer 40K on Tabletop Simulator
40K,
fairly regularly.
Man, I haven't played 40K in years, and I want to get back into it, but it's so expensive.
Well, we can play a game, man, and it is so expensive. And then I bought some 3D printers, and I've just been printing. This is my quarantine project. I have a heretical Imperial Guard squad battalion that I want to print.
I started a heretical Imperial Guard.
Hey,
we're best friends now.
Yeah, sweet. So I just really getting into like 3D printing, and then like learning. So 40K is on 9th edition now, and it's a very different rule set, but it's also I think one of the best rule sets they've ever made. I've heard a lot of people be like, "This is really good. It's really tight." There's the codex lag, right? So you have the army lists that haven't caught up yet. Yeah. They've only done Space Marines, obviously. Necrons. They just did Drukhari, the Dark Eldar.
Oh, did they rename those guys?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, they call them Drukhari, but they're Dark Eldar to everybody. Yeah. And then they're working on AdMech. Oh, Death Guard as well. The Nurgle Marines.
Oh yeah, I love Nurgle Marines. Yeah. That's what I was starting to turn my Imperial Guard army into. Was
nice. I'm gonna go Khorne because blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. Like
you can't go wrong with that, really, right?
It's just all slogans. That's all it is. I'm a sucker for Khorne.
They got a good PR, man. They got good PR.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah. Like, it's not complicated. I'm gonna move my people across the board, and I'm probably gonna hurt some stuff. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Ooh, these traps are just murdering me. I
was gonna say it was bold of you just to put one person out and be like, "Yeah, they'll probably die."
This fight is the hardest fight in the game, almost. Not quite.
Okay.
There are a couple that are like really tough. I just remember that the first time I did this fight, it scarred me. Like, so 20 years ago, it's been living rent free in my head ever since. It's a tough fight. I'm about to fight an elder god, so it's good. It's good times. There's like one really good tactic that I've used ever since. I discovered it 20 years ago, and I've used it ever since. Just a little while ago in the same dungeon, I got a really cool bow. It's a long bow that does like 3 attacks per round. So you give that to a person, and you give them the best arrows you have, and you just keep that person alive, and they just have to shoot the shit out of the Elder God the whole time. And you just have to, your goal is just to survive with everyone else and keep that person alive. They will.
So, have you played Diablo 1, the first one?
I only ever played the demo, so I only ever fought the Butcher.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going with this, though. The Butcher is rude and arguably one of the more challenging bosses in it because you don't know the game.
Yeah.
And then this guy usually just, like, punches you right in the stomach, and you go, like, you just bone. He's huge. He moves really quickly as well, and it's an unnatural speed and grace that he moves to, and his character model is, like, 2 to 3 times the size of you.
Scary as hell when he comes out of the dark at you.
Yeah, he comes out of the dark and he goes, "Oh, fresh meat."
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Okay,
thanks for
I'm
scarring
dead
me."
now.
Like that's, I'm still scared of that.
But I found, because the dungeons in Diablo 1 are all randomly generated, there'll be little pieces that are like grates. And so, like, I remember playing with a wizard, and I was like, my wizard uses a bow now for this encounter, and I managed to catch him in a grate where he was trying to go in a straight line, but he couldn't. So I would just sit here and go like 5 damage, 5 damage, 5 damage. Next bundle of 100 arrows, 5 damage, 5 damage. Eventually get him to die, and then like just go to learn how to like one-shot Diablo at the end of it. But the butcher gets you.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably played that demo like 18 times probably. I killed a whole bunch of cows. Like,
oh, perfect. Yeah, I love that. That was around the same time as like the first StarCraft, right? Those properties came out the first time.
Yeah, so I was a big player of StarCraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1 even. I played Warcraft 1 after Warcraft 2. So it was like kind of weird, but like a big fan of those. The Brood Wars, that was me as a young teenager and stuff. Like those were formative for me. And I don't know why I just never really stuck with board games after that. Like I just moved. I never stuck with video games after that. I think my computers throughout the 2000s were never really good enough to keep up with with video games. So I just kind of like fell away. So like that's why I played Icewind Dale, because like I never really did adult
out
things.
of it.
Yeah, I never grew out of it.
Yeah.
Then like they're like reading an old book. It's like just like comforting.
My benefit of my dad being a techie, so we always had a moderately up to date computer.
Yeah.
Where he would be like, "Yeah, you and your brother can share it. Have fun."
Nice.
And the benefit of my much older brother being like, video games are for nerds, I was like, hell yeah, and got in there on my own, and learned, like, I grew up on Age of Empires 1, then 2, the Diablo series, StarCraft, Morrowind, the Elder Scrolls 3.
Morrowind. I had a lot of friends who played it, but I've heard good things.
It's a great time, and I never realized that there was a story. I just thought it was open world murder simulator until like 5 years later when I went back and played it again. And
that's
then
how a lot of people play D&D. Open world murder.
Open world murder simulator. Yeah. It's just I don't know where the paralyzed dagger is in a lot of people's D&D games. I do know where it is in Morrowind. And it was always, my friends and I would play the game and we would set up LAN parties, but Morrowind's a single player game. So it would literally just be 4 people in a basement with 4 LCD screens up. Everyone basically going, okay, start and race to the paralyzed dagger and see who can kill, I think it was Vivek, the like floating dark elf god that hung, like you can basically sprint up to him, shank him with his paralyzed dagger, and he falls over, and you just stand there like punching him in the head, and then remember to paralyzed dagger him, and after 15 minutes of that he would die, and then you would get enough experience or whatever to go to like level 3, and you're like, yes, I am the winner.
That's a fun thing to do. Like that's good old classic fun, right?
Yeah, man. So
Uh,
where's this elder god? Has he?
so I
Have
just
they
talked to
showed up?
her. I just talked to her. So I walked. That's why I walked
Okay.
over here. You walk over here, you talk to her, you turn her hostile, and then you
Hmm.
immediately run away because a whole bunch of people come and help her, like a whole
Yeah, that
bunch
makes
of
sense.
more UNT. So she's gonna show up as like a little tiny, like little girl at the start, and we haven't seen her just yet, but we will soon probably. Um, so I have like this magical horn that will summon me a whole bunch of Vikings to fight for me, and it's cool because they'll talk.
Oh,
They'll say like for Tempost and for Valhalla and blah blah blah. So they're a lot of fun. They're very helpful in this fight. Um, so they have like priests that are like buffing them. That's what these like the glowing on them is.
hmm.
See, there she is, Yuxonome.
Oh,
See how big she is, and like
that's
swords.
that's not great, and a lot of health bars.
Yeah, yeah, it's not good. Not good. I'm
Well,
gonna
good luck.
get my person with all the arrows in position to fight her because she is scary. Okay,
I believe in you.
I. This might be the end of the band. I've talked with this in a couple other streams.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, this is a momentum. Like we might disband the band today. Like we might have to. But if I get through this
This.
fight, oh no!
Mhm.
Oh god!
I feel like something bad just happened.
See this green mist? This is not friendly
Yep.
green mist.
Oh,
This is dear
that's not the.
God.
This isn't the super happy fun green mist. That's
No.
the everybody dies green mist.
This is probably Cloud Kill? Maybe not though. Um Oh wow, Yuxonome cast this. What did she cast?
So the game is paused and there's still stuff coming in. Okay, so your
It's
berserk warriors died.
I'm filtering through this, like I'm scrolling through this. I'm trying to
Okay.
find out what she cast. Yeah, Cloud Kill.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Cloud Kill. I didn't know she did that. I
Oh, I'm
forgot that
glad.
she classed Cloud Kill. So maybe this is a new thing that they did for Enhanced Edition? I don't know. But
I
all my
see you've
berserkers are
activated
dead,
the
I
trap
think.
card.
Yeah, I activated
Yes.
trap card. That's exactly right. As if she's not deadly enough. Like, yeah, let's. She can cast Cloud Kill. That's cool. That's not OP. All right, I'm gonna throw a
So how do
fireball.
we? That makes sense. Can you ignite the cloud kill on fire?
No, it's not that cool. It's not that cool. This game's not that good. Um,
That's a shame. It should be that good.
it should be. That's the good thing about like D&D. It's like you can often counter things in weird ways. It's like, oh, you cast Cloud Kill. Okay, I'm gonna do Gust of Wind or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, right.
that's the benefit of playing real tabletop as opposed to this. Oh
I feel like that scream was from one of your people.
no, it was for me. That was me groaning. Oh no, what?
Oh, double cloud kill, or did she just make a bunch of zombies?
Made a whole bunch of zombies.
Perfect. I
Jeez.
love it.
That's
I love
okay.
this for you.
Why did you? Who are you attacking? This isn't going terrible though. Like I'm not dying. Like
No, there's a lot of enemies there, but you still have a lot of your people there as well.
no one's died yet in the band. Usually Balger goes first. It's just kind of how he does. But he's holding his own. And you know what? I'm gonna. So the blade has different things, like special abilities she can do with her swords.
Hmm.
So either a defensive position or an offensive position. So she's stuck where she is for a long time. I'm gonna throw a defensive position on her so that she can take some more hits.
Hmm.
Run away.
there's
She's out of spells.
there's a
now.
lot there. Okay.
She's out of spells now, so like she's coming up to attack me, so that's scary. Look how
Wow,
big
that's not-
she is.
That's not a great elder god. What kind of elder god runs out of spells?
Yeah, right. This early in the combat, come on.
2 rounds and you're gassed. Need a,
Who is
need a
not,
little bit more
who's
time in
not
the
doing their
fridge.
job to sing? Why are you not singing? Why are you going that way? Walking through the cloud kill. Perfect. Yeah, the AI in this game is not the best. Oh, so it got rid of your spell. Cool. Cool. You gotta love old games.
Yeah, is the Elder God's health is not going down at all, is it?
No, it's... She's badly injured. I'm doing very well.
Oh.
I'm actually, like... This is going very well. Like, I'm surprised at how well this is. Like,
I'll be honest, I was hoping for a TPK. I thought that would have been just a great time.
I have had TPKs with this band already. Like, this is, like, I've had 4 TPKs. The fact that this combat is going this well, it's just mind-boggling.
Well, we're gonna have to try again.
Okay, so this is bad. The whirlwind's taking... So now things are starting to turn because she's in combat with me. But she's almost dead. She's now near death.
Yeah, so, what is that, 15 hit points or something like that? I think your archer's gonna solve the problem.
That's the thing. She's got +2 arrows and, like, 3 attacks around. She's taking chunks out of her. Like I said, all I gotta do is keep the whirlwind alive and keep her busy. And, yeah.
No problem. No problem.
What is this game even? Like, why am I even playing? This is so easy. What happened? So this is the thing we've been looking for, the Heartstone gem.
You know, you don't even wait for her to hit the ground. You're just like, scoop that up.
This is another cool thing they added for... Oh, wow. They just all die. They all just up and die. Wow. That was literally the easiest time I've ever had that with that fight.
I wonder if they rebalanced it.
Maybe they did for the Enhanced Edition, which would be very upsetting. Because I used to love how hard that fight was. I used to have, like tons of buffs I used to have to do. Can't believe that. Anyways, cool. What time is it? It's only 8:37? Where's...
So what now? Where do we go?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I feel like this is the climax.
I thought I was going
now
to
what
do
do we
this
do?
combat like 6 times tonight. What are we even doing here? Maybe I should just play Minecraft. This is stupid. Alright, who's got knock? I think it's you. Nope. Balgra has knock. Okay, so I'm going to need Balgra. So, yeah, so the next step after this is a long trudge back through...
Trap Spunk, dead.
Yeah, he's held, so he can't move. And that wasn't even the right guy anyway, so that's fine. We have to...
Excellent.
God damn it. Oh, no. Oh, I suck. I didn't quick save.
Did you just quick load?
I did before the fight.
Oh, man. We are going to have to do this fight again, aren't we?
I can't believe I just did that. I'm such a noob. Wow, I'm the worst human being.
I shouldn't take this much pleasure in your...
No, it's funny.
In your pain,
laugh. This is hilarious.
Well, I hope it goes so much more poorly for you now.
Yeah, there's no way it can be as easy as last time.
It's just going to be like Cloud Kill centered on your back pocket there.
Yeah, I wonder if I can do something about that this time. You know what? That Cloud Kill wasn't even that bad.
Nah, it's fine.
I'm going to summon some guys now, actually.
There's some high quality voice acting, though.
Actually, the voice acting is really solid for the players. The cool thing, too, is you can make your own voices for this. And I did for Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh, neat.
It was like they gave you a list of everything you have to do. Like, it was like, this is the attack 1, like, pissed off 1, tired. So, like, there's a list of what you had to do, and you could just make, like, you would just title them all, like, Eric 1, Eric 2, Eric 3, Eric 4.
Yeah.
And just put them in, like, a audio folder that's part of the game folders. And then the next time you load up the game, you could choose that as your voice. So there's one, I had my own voice as a barbarian. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like 13-year-old Eric was like over the moon. He thought it was an amazing thing.
Voice cracks and all. Yeah. I'm gonna kill you.
You could also bring in your own pictures. So I had a half-orc barbarian that was the predator picture.
Perfect.
That's what I did.
That sounds exactly what a 13-year-old would do.
Right. Yeah.
My berserker's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which, I mean, every barbarian I've ever played always end up being Arnold Schwarzenegger in some fashion or another.
You know what? Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Predator was amazing. So, yeah.
Dylan! You son of a bitch!
I rewatched it, like, for the first time in years, just like last week. And it holds up. Like, I was
You ever
impressed.
tried... You see the asymmetric Predator video game, Predator Apex Hunt or something like that? So
I never
one person
played it,
plays the
but I've heard of it.
Predator, and then everyone else plays Arnold Schwarzenegger and Friends. Man, that seems like such a great idea. Those asymmetric games I adore. It's so good.
So, something really terrible just happened.
Okay. Did you
They-
died?
They dire charmed the whirlwind. So she's currently coming to kill me.
Oh, good.
I don't know if I have Dispel Magic with anybody.
I think you should just unpause it and see what happens.
I'm checking to see if anyone has Dispel. He doesn't have it memorized because I'm the worst Icewind Dale player of
Excellent.
all time.
Excellent. So I only ask, I would like to witness.
It's TPK.
Yeah,
we're going.
TPK.
We're continuing it. Oh, this is bad.
Ooh, that's a big old red mark there in the back line of your very squishy casters. As a forever GM, this makes me very happy.
Yes. I'm usually a forever GM, and when Connor wanted to do it for Goblin of Gambles, I was
Nice.
so happy. I was like, oh, I would love to play. I got to GM on it a little bit. There's a part where one of our players had to be away for like 6 weeks for work.
Right.
So I got to take over for a little bit, and I did I think like 9 episodes of GMing, and that was a lot of fun. Those are the ones I did all the editing with and used Reaper for.
Sweet.
Jeez, the whirlwind's gonna kill me. You shouldn't be attacking her. Don't attack her.
Well, it's a good thing you put all that the fancy flaming swords and the blur sash and all that other stuff on there.
Sorry, I'm dying. I've lost Calvin.
What is happening?
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of like. This is the exact opposite of what just happened. It's it's a shame.
This is what
really
I thought was gonna
that
happen
you
the first time. Wow.
and now one of them's covered entirely in flames. Wow.
Yeah, they must have cast like Fire Shield on him, because that's something that they do. So this is what I expected to happen the first time. That Dire Charm completely changed everything for me.
So did you? Maybe you just succeeded on a save on the Dire
succeeded on
Charm
the
the
save.
last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what I expected to happen, but I know that I can win this combat like after that first round. So like,
Yeah.
I'm not like this is. Now they turn on her. Oh wow, they don't turn on her. That's so funny. Like they're surrounding her, but I have to wait for the spell to. That's so funny. Like they know that she's their enemy, but they can't attack her. That's funny. I'm gonna load it. She's dead.
Yeah, I get it. I'm glad that I got to witness it. Just happy I came out.
This time, I'm going to memorize some spells better. Okay, quick save.
So is the quick save and the quick load button just like right next to each other? Is that what happened? Where you went to quick save and you quick loaded?
I just assumed in my brain that I quick saved after the combat was over, and I didn't. So I went to load because I was like upset with the traps. So
got it.
That was me just being an idiot. So I deserve every bad thing right now.
Yes, a very common phrase. You snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Exactly. How often does that happen in real life? Oh,
It's pretty often.
Do you have armor? Better take that off, just in case I need it. Oh, I had a scroll of Dispel Magic. Wow, I'm really bad at this game.
I would argue that you're quite good at this game, and you're just having a bad luck because you're,
Bad luck.
I don't
Yeah.
know, like
I'm on tilt. Like I like
you're just,
free the whirlwind. Um, party wipe. Party wipe. Yes. Yes, Connor. Party wipe.
the
Um,
party hath been wiped, and I'm glad I got to witness it.
did you back to Magic for a second? Have you tried out
Yeah,
Spell Table?
yeah. What is that?
You haven't heard Spell Table? It's like
I
changed
ha-
Magic during the pandemic. So
Dear Internet, give me spell table.
so this guy was just like, I'm gonna invent a thing for Magic, and he invented it so well
Huh.
that Wizard of the Coast hired him and bought Spell Table from him as well.
I see. Yes, I don't have physical magic
You don't
cards.
have physical cards?
No, I've only been playing on Tabletop Simulator.
Wow.
I just go to Scryfall and are like, what's a good deck? Copy paste. I'm a net decker, man.
Hurt me. You hurt my soul.
Well,
I have a
go
best
buy
friend
40K.
You spend your money on models instead of cards. So I love it because like I have physical cards.
Yeah,
I
that
have
was
lots-
great.
I have a lot of physical cards.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you just set the webcam up and you use your real cards, and it's been really fun. Like I've gotten to play with my brother. I convinced him to buy a webcam. And, like I haven't played Magic with my brother because he lives like in London and I live in Oshawa, so it's like a 3-hour drive. So like I haven't played Magic with him in years. So it was really nice to like connect with him throughout the pandemic and play with our real cards because my dad passed away a long time ago. He's the one that taught me how to play Magic,
Oh, right on.
and his decks were really bad. I have all his decks. I've saved all his decks. His decks were really bad, but it was funny because
Were they sorry, but were they bad at the time, or
Yes.
are they bad
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
of the? Okay.
We whipped his butt all the time. There were some times though where like he liked singleton. He didn't play multiple cards in a deck. So like
Right.
EDH and Commander would have been right up his alley, but he passed away really when EDH was invented. It was just right around the time he passed away. So I looked at it. I was looking through his decks one day, and I realized he had one deck that was a dragon deck. He loved that dragon deck. He whipped our butts with it sometimes. It actually had all of the Elder Dragons in it from Magic.
Oh wow.
I was looking through it, and there was I came across a dragon in it that I'd never seen before. He never managed to cast it against me. It was not Progenitus. It was Scion of the Dragon. So he's every color.
Oh, yeah.
It's 5/5
Yeah.
every color. And when I
Yeah.
saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna make this into an EDH deck. It was really like a nice moment for me. So I took his favorite deck. I added some cards. I took out some of the bad cards. I think I added probably like maybe 20 cards to it, and it was a serviceable EDH deck, and it's a lot of fun to play. And it connects me to my dad. So I've done that with 3 of his decks now. There's a blue one where I steal creatures, and there's it has like Prodigal Sorcerer in it because he loved Prodigal Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And it has
Isn't that the one? If you run out of cards in your library, you win. Is that the one?
No. Prodigal Sorcerer. His nickname was Timmy because he kind of looked like. He was a sorcerer. So Timmy was the name of the sorcerer in Holy Grail.
Yes. Yeah.
Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail. Timmy was the
Yeah.
wizard in that who like fireballed things. So Prodigal Sorcerer was a 1/1 for like 3. And you can tap and do 1 damage to people. So like his nickname back in the day was Timmy. So my dad loved him, so he's in the deck. So it's great because I can steal everyone else's cards, so that I end up winning because I steal their cards. So yeah, it's really fun. I get to connect with my dad, and like I use those decks against my brother, so he can see the decks and still interact with them. It's a nice like thing to have. Like as I have a lot of great memories of sitting around the kitchen table with my dad playing Magic. So I
that's
love
really
Magic
cool.
for that reason.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Magic is when you pull something off and someone goes, "What?"
Yeah. I was playing last night and that happened.
That I found online that I adore, which is it's a bunch of the pingers. So like Timmy,
Yeah.
it gives them the pirate designation, and then your partner commanders are both like whenever a pirate deals damage to a player, gain a treasure or look at the top card. So it's just
Wow.
about these stupid synergies that are just value town, and the whole like EDH deck entirely I think is like $60 because
Nice.
all the cards on their own are hot garbage. But when you combine them all together, it turns into this like, if it works, it's gonna work really well. But I may the turns to get there.
You can often screw people up with the hot garbage
Yeah.
Cards, like
Oh,
last night, I think my first turn I played, it's a card called Burning Inquiry. It's a common, but it's like everyone draws 3 cards and then discards 3 cards randomly. So like it
yeah.
screwed everyone's opening hands. It was so much fun.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. The chaos decks are a lot of
Yeah,
fun where it's like Warp World or anything where you get to flip a coin. I'm a big fan of.
yeah.
Um,
My friends are usually like too competitive to play cards like that, so that's
yeah.
upsetting. But then like my brother plays on a lower power level, so like I can pull out those fun cards with him, and it's not.
Yeah.
And like my dad liked those cards too, so it's nice. It's those are fun moments. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is I was smart this time. I've cast haste on everybody, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to like leave the summon monsters outside. To
Yeah, let them soak up a bunch of
yeah,
like the dire charms and
hopefully,
stuff.
hopefully. But haste is gonna really. Wow, I can't believe there's still a guy alive. So I killed one of the priests pretty quickly, so that's gonna really help me out. Who's not singing? You need to sing your song.
It's very quiet because I'm very interested to see if you're gonna make it through this.
Me too. Yeah, so I apologize if I'm not talking because like this is intense. Um, so when guys are casting spells, you can often hit them with magic missile because magic missile usually
Yeah.
casts quicker, so they can
Hmm.
you distract them and they lose the spell. She's coming for me.
Cloud kill, cloud kill, cloud kill. Gah!
Luckily, she can only cast Cloud Kill once, so. Uh. Did it work? No. Anyways, you need to start attacking her. Is that gonna work? Let's do defensive position with the Whirlwind. Get her attacking Xaname. Yeah, so she has haste and 2 swords. I'm not worried about her right now. I think she's gonna do pretty good as long as I don't get Dire Charm again. But I have Dispel Magic, so
I believe in you.
I believe in me as well. I didn't throw a ton of spells last time either, so I'm hoping. I have a first level spell called Chromatic Sphere. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah. Is that like chromatic orb?
Yeah, sorry, Chromatic Orb. That's the right word. My bad. So like I'm high enough level that it can sometimes hold people or blind them. So
Oh wow.
I'm hoping that they fail their saves. So she's injured. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
you're on. I think you're going in the right direction here.
I think I saved against the Dire Charm, or maybe like a Berserker got Dire Charm, maybe. Who knows? And I've missed Cloud Kill. They must have done Cloud Kill. Either she skipped it entirely or she did it in the hallway and I can't see it.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead snake people there.
The Whirlwind keeps attacking the snakes instead of the Exonome, so that's really exciting. She's dead. Alright, let's just clean up on the snakes now. Oh, haste just wore off. Wow.
Nice.
Yes. So part of the reason I couldn't save before was because Cloud Kill was still going. And it counts you as in combat still. So that's probably why I didn't save last time. Oh, successful. Oh. Ooh.
Ooh, you did it.
I did it. I did it. Only 1 TPK. That's not bad. It's not bad at all.
And that was,
That
I
was
would
round
say that
2.
you got, yeah, you got through it in the first round, and the first TPK probably doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, I got her 2 or 3 times. I think I can call this a win. I'm not
Yeah.
upset with myself at all. Did I get the treasure over here? I did. What are these? Are those just bodies? Oh, gross. There's just a whole bunch of bodies on hooks here. Ugh.
Yeah, the UNT aren't super great.
No, yeah,
They're
they're
tough. They're
in
pretty
the
tough
cult
customers.
area upstairs. There's a secret library, and there's like cookbooks on cooking humans.
Perfect.
Yeah,
How to cook for humans.
yeah, exactly. The
Now remember, trigger all the traps on the way in.
yeah, quick save again, just to be safe. Oh, right, I gotta send him in with knock. There's some good treasure in here. Oh no, don't die. Oh, he's poisoned.
Trap sprung, trap sprung, trap sprung. And it.
Who has the anti-poison stuff? You do. Who? Why are you still poisoned? You drank a potion. You must have drank the potion and got poisoned again. This game. I hate this game sometimes.
You thought this was going to be easy.
When you DM, do you use poison?
Interesting question.
I hate it.
I
play Pathfinder, and I hate the mechanics for it in Pathfinder.
Pathfinder first edition or second edition?
First edition. I'm old school.
Yeah, I'm on second edition now.
Nice.
I believe in the villain triangle.
What's the villain triangle? Let's talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. So in the design, I homebrew everything all the time because I overthink, and I need to overcomplicate things. So when I design the story arcs, villain triangles in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and Pathfinder are kind of broken into the villain that's really good at core mechanics, so high AC, high hit points, high bonus to hit, big damage or something like that. Then you have the villain that's probably some sort of magically inclined thing, be it a spellcaster, or some sort of variant kind of unmagic, which alters things, has its own core mechanics. And then the magic item DM just decided to give you benefits to stuff. So that triangle to me in your first beginning of the game, when your players are still learning how the game mechanics works, you kind of get one of three, right? You're one in an act one villain should either be really good at certain core mechanics or be magic or have some sort of extra special outside of the core rules.
Yeah.
And then once you get into the second act, you've got the magic fighter or a fighter with legendary actions or other bonuses or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And then in your third act of the story, it's all three. And that's when it's just you're just going to have a bad time. And I also believe in the manipulation of conditions later. Leave the players an understanding of how to do the core mechanics, and when they get really good at the core mechanics, then do things like poison, paralysis. There's certain combinations in 5th edition, for example, that I absolutely adore. So if you paralyze someone in 5th edition, they automatically fail their dex saves, and there's a spell called Disintegrate, which is dex based.
Oh, it's dex based in that, not forward to.
Yeah,
right? That's
well, because there's so if you fail it, they take, I think it's 8d8 plus 70 force damage or whatever it is. And if they go to 0 hit points, they're disintegrated and they're gone. And I have killed a few PCs in the end game using that combination, but I believe it could only be done at the end.
Right, that makes sense. It's not like a middle of the road guy's going to do that to you.
Exactly.
That makes. Do you have to roll to hit with it first?
No.
Disintegrate?
It's save or die, basically.
It's just a dex save. See, I kind of like that because in first edition and in 3.5, disintegrate is usually a touch spell, a ranged touch attack.
Oh, way. Okay.
And then it's a fortitude save, and if you fail, you take half damage. If you succeed, they take a whack ton of damage that usually kills things. So So it's 2 is kind of flipped on its head. Your dex save is to actually avoid that disintegrate ray. So I like
exactly.
That. I'm on board with that change. That's a good change.
Do you have a lot of experience with 5th edition?
5th, I've played twice. That for the upcoming Canadian joint venture and one time with Liam.
It's a very I think shallow is the best way to describe it. Because everything is either reduced to advantage, disadvantage, or plus 1 or 2. They don't want the numbers to be super big. And when I had to look at, someone did a really good breakdown of the math on advantage, and it equates to a +5.
Yeah.
But when you make it kind of binomial, like it either is +5 or it isn't, or it's -5, there's no gray area. So the spells and abilities that give you advantage at the lower level is super crazy powerful, and at the higher level is really just turns into you trying to crit fish,
Hmm.
like searching for that natural 20. So I find fifth edition to be quite like flat. Not a bad thing necessarily. It's probably what's made it to be very approachable, and a lot of people are getting into it. I just personally find that it's just a little bit too flat for me. Not a huge fan of it. I adore second edition
Yeah,
Pathfinder.
I was gonna ask, like, what you
I
think about it.
love it. So I have right next to me the like limited edition, special edition core rulebook of it.
Okay.
And I have made the jump, and I made the jump for like three reasons. The
Okay.
first one, three actions as a core basic, everybody gets three actions is very good. I love that. Um,
I've played second edition like once,
mhm.
and I agree that having the three actions was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
The core mechanic of 10 above the DC or 10 below the DC, critical success, crit failures, amazing.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So much striation, and they put it in everything, in every skill check, in every like spell or ability. It's always included in there, and it could just say this is basic. If you critically succeed, you get none damage, or you critically fail, you get double, and that's wonderful. I really enjoy that. Um, and then the third one is that it's a really tight system. Everybody grows the same. The monsters, you don't really have to do too much to remain competitive and challenging.
Oh, good.
And they put a lot of work into the bestiary. So from a design perspective and from like the back end as a forever GM, I will run Pathfinder Second Edition anytime because I don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it versus with Dungeons and Dragons Fifth Edition. I had to like develop my own homebrew system for how do I anticipate
Yeah.
how challenging this combat is going to be. How many actions do people have? What's the effectiveness of that action? What's the overall effect going to be? Because if I did it right or wrong, it was either over and around or I crushed people. And
Yeah.
like, I don't want to crush people all the time. At the same time, I also don't want all the combats to be over and around. Sometimes you have big scary monster that's
Yeah.
kind of like the game ender. That needs to be challenging. It has to befit the fact that it's part of the ending portion of the story. So, yeah, which that's why it led me to do the whole like first season and get into game design and strategy and decision making and game theory and like stitch it all together and go, this is how I think.
Hmm.
This is the like best game that I would want to run, and here's how I got here, and let's go on a journey together to kind of recap it. Only takes 3.5 hours.
Honestly, like 3.5 hours isn't like. If I was working still and had like a lunch hour, I'd run through your podcast in like 3 days, like 3 lunch hours. So like that's not a lot of time, and like
Yeah,
I said, like there's a lot
I
of great
kept it.
information that you have
Mhm.
in each episode. Like the first episode is just fantastic.
Yeah, and
Ooh,
I was conscious of the time constraint on people's time with like the current world situation. Understanding that people aren't commuting, they don't have hours where they're just sitting and listening.
yeah,
So it's like, okay, aim for a tight 25 because it's about as much as people is going to get. And then also get into, now that that's out, I can focus on some other things that I really like doing, like interviews.
yeah.
Just today, I dropped an interview with Shannon from Paradise RPG. Wonderful person. Hour-long conversation about her experience as a teacher, as an educator, and then as a D&D player, as an actor, and then how to teach your players while you're going about playing these games, because you can't disconnect the fact that people are going to grow and learn while playing these games. So how do we put that stuff together? Phenomenal person, and I think a great person to watch in the future. She's getting involved in a lot of projects, and I think she's like a voice actor on 3 or 4 different
Oh,
streams
that's
now.
amazing. So
Yeah,
what was she from? Paradise.
Paradise RPG.
Cool. I'll check her out. Shannon.
Yeah.
I'll write that down.
Yeah. Paradise spelled
Like dice.
Paradice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the most recent episode in the Tunnel Vision Games podcast stuff. So
Cool.
check out the Podbean link, and it'll be
Excellent.
right there.
Excellent.
And
I'll
then
definitely check that out.
now that all those are done, I'm gonna go hunting for more people to talk to.
That's my goal
you know.
too. Like I'm trying to find. I'm trying to get a new guest every Monday. So it's tough. I got one next week, and then not after that. So it's tough. It's a grind to get people. So
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there who are creating, which I adore.
Yeah.
It's such a nice time to like literally. I'll just go on Twitter and look up tabletop role playing game shows, and there has to be 1,000 now.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find them almost. Like there's a sea of them, right? It's
Yeah.
so in trying to stand out, like get above the waves. It's tough.
It is.
That's why I'm glad that we're doing that huge Canadian collaboration, because not only is it Canadian, which is great, because like Americans don't like to listen to Canadians sometimes. So it's nice that we're all getting together. We all get to see how creative we are, and like, getting to do collaborations and talk with people. You get to learn so much more, and new perspectives. Like it's just nice to have. It's great. I don't know. I'm glad that that so many different people from so many different walks of life can like get together over just a nerdy game. And it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess for those in the chat who don't know what that is, a bunch of the Canadian podcasts got together and recorded a adventure that will release probably somewhere near Valentine's Day.
It's supposed to be
Canada
on Canada Day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm in the first episode, which has been recorded, and Eric, I think you're in the third, right?
Episode, yeah. And
Yeah.
then Connor's I think in number 5, and our buddy Taylor's in 6. So the rest of the guys
Sweet.
on the podcast.
Yeah, and they split all the podcast people up, and we're all recording one shots that tell an interesting story in a homebrew land. Yeah, so you're just gonna have to tune in for more stuff like that, because it was a lot of fun to record. So I hope it's a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah, I had a blast. I won't go into it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I had a blast doing it. I hope I get to do more things with those people that I did the show with. It was just crazy fun.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, you get to see other people's play style and learn so much more from people. I don't know. It was a great time. These traps are killing me, Logan. I don't even know.
You really are. You had almost an easier time against the Elder God on these traps that like just every 5 feet traps.
Antidote versus it's Mummy's Tea. I gotta see if I have an antidote anywhere. Oh, I do. Oh, I have 9 of them. I think that the treasure's not even like worth it. I think I got the best things already out of the treasure, so I might just abort and just leave. But
I mean, you got the Dragon's Eye Emerald or whatever the
Heartstone Gem.
Heartstone Gem.
I'm in Dragon's Eye. That's the name of the volcano.
Right.
Heartstone Gem is why we came here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. I think the rest of the things were just stupid treasures. So I'm gonna leave. I'm good. We got the heart, like you said. We have the Heartstone Gem. Let's get out of here. This is the. Oh my God! Why do you exist? Why do you exist?
Yeah, you're not out of the woods yet, kid.
I kept running into this the last time we played too, where in the original version of the game, if you kill the guy, like there's nothing there later. Like the room stayed empty. But for some reason, in this version,
it's just gonna make you grind all the way out.
Yeah, it just throws like, hey, there's a guy here. Where did he come from? I killed everybody. What is this? Whose weapon?
Is your archer still throwing your premium arrows?
She's down to regular arrows now, so I think I only have a few arrows left with her, actually. I should probably put away the premium arrows and save them for actual enemies. Yeah, I'm good. So yeah, they'll just have random guys show up for no reason. So it's like, okay, cool.
Wandering monster tables.
That's what it is. Yeah, man. I've been learning a lot more about like the original way like the Gygax played,
Hmm.
and it's just like, oh yeah, like this dungeon doesn't make sense, and there's just this room has 40 orcs, the next room has a troll, and like his rooms just didn't like his dungeons didn't make sense at all. They were just like crazy bonkers. Like, why do you play this way? What?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it was I don't know, it was a combat game. So like, here's
Yeah,
combat,
yeah, right.
enjoy,
You're right.
and
Exactly
then
right.
and then it just morphed into like, okay, I curse the bard so that way every time sunlight comes out, he levitates 5 inches off the ground and cannot walk. And then you enchant a dagger with daylight. So now whenever you want the bard to shut up, you just take the dagger out, and then the bard's levitating.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't like that.
So, see,
I
like
like my dungeons
that's
to
what
make
Dungeons and Dragons
sense.
is now.
Like, I like to draw a lot of maps. So, like, when I draw a dungeon, there's a room that has lavatories in it. Like, that's like,
Yeah, for sure.
there has to be a kitchen, like where they sleep. Like, so just seeing like a dungeon that's just like, let's try to fill up this grid paper with like, ugh, you're stressing me out. Why would it be like this? So
Yeah,
I think I probably put too much realism sometimes when I play.
right.
Like the last homebrew world I made, I was researching like how did they keep bees in medieval times? How like bonkers things like that.
Yeah, I've done that. My home game, the game that I run for friends of mine, is set entirely in the plane of air.
It's cool.
Uh, world-ending apocalypse. So there's just shattered pieces of the material plane floating through the multiverse. And so it's very. I watched Treasure Planet and was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a game based off of Treasure Planet, and it's just floating rocks with bars on it. That's all I want. And then it's just airships flying through the air and different crews and stuff. And then because of that, I had to figure out. So how are they feeding themselves? Uh-oh, this is about to get really complicated.
Yeah,
Um, and then there was another world that I built, which was inspired by Greek mythology.
I've done that.
Yeah, right. And so you like get into, okay, so why was it called the Bronze Age? And then suddenly 4 hours later, like you're on a YouTube binge about somebody crafting Bronze Age weapons and armor in their basement.
That's that's the thing about bronze. Like you can do that. Like
Yeah.
like it was a soft metal. I did a world. There was two things that were going through my head. It was like kind of like, why are humans the dominant species in TTRPGs? Like, how did they get that way? Like,
Right.
in the world, not in game design, but like in this world, why did this happen?
Right.
So I designed like and I also like got into the Titanomachy, like the Titan War between the Titans and the gods. So
Right.
I had a world where it was run by gnomes and they worshipped Titans, and the Titans were very real, like they were on the world with them. And then the gods came from another land with their own armies of humans to take this land from the gnomes. So it was kind of like a history of how the D&D worlds were kind of formed. It was a lot of fun. I never really got too far into the campaign. I was stupid. I had like a party of like 8 people, and we could never get everyone together. It was awful.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I find the sweet spot honestly is like 3 to 5.
Three.
You know.
Three, 4, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 even
Plus,
I hesitate on.
yeah. My home game right now is 5.
That's not awful. Do you
No,
guys play in
I'm
person, or do you? Well, not right now, but like
no.
normally, do you play in person, or are you guys across the
Yeah.
country?
No, we're all in the same city. So when we played in person, we only played, I think, half of the first campaign that we did was in person. And then we went entirely online. And it was they wanted me to teach them how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like half of them had never played before, so it was like an introductory game. Also, I just like to take a minute and acknowledge how brutal this game is. It's like you're gonna walk your ass out of here.
Yeah.
You do not get to fast travel.
No. Yeah.
You're gonna go back through and look at all of these maps that we spent money on.
Yeah, it's annoying. So annoying. I know in Baldur's Gate 1, there's the Nashville mines that you go through, and they have like the decency that when you get to the end, you come out like a secret entrance on the surface, and it's like,
Right.
You beautiful human beings. Dragon's
The
Eye does
Skyrim
not have a
version.
secret
Yeah.
entrance.
You grind all the way down
Yeah.
and you grind all the way back out again.
I'm surprised I haven't run into any more trolls, to be honest, because this is the troll level. So I'm pretty happy right now. Yeah, so similar thing for me for Pathfinder. I remember I was in like my local comic book store. All the nerds there were talking about how fourth edition of D&D sucks. People should play Pathfinder. And they swayed me, so I bought the bestiary and the core rulebook for Pathfinder. I'm like, I'm going to start playing this with my friends. 2 years later, my friends in college were like, hey, I want to play D&D. I'm like, okay, I have these books that I haven't touched for 2 years. Let's play Pathfinder. And so we did, and I've been playing Pathfinder ever since. So that was, what, 10 years
Nice.
ago? Yeah.
Yeah, I like video games. I've also just started collecting systems.
Yeah.
So I have Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, 5th edition. I have Pathfinder first edition, second edition. I've got Fate, the Star Wars Fantasy Flight game, which is super tight off the Genesis system.
Is that good?
Um,
Pretty good thing.
oh, it's really good. Then I have the core rulebook for the Genesis system, which it's based off of. Then, what else? Shadowrun, Traveler.
I've heard the Ghetto
Prob-
Traveler. Do you recommend it?
I don't.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
No. Traveler is like you die the simulator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's because it's in space, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different ways to die in space, and so they really got into the rules. The character creation though in Traveler, I have to admit, is one of the more involved because it's not just, oh, congratulations, you've made your person and they have all the skills. It's a life simulator. And
Okay.
you roll on random tables, and it's like, oh, you tried to pull a job on a high-ranking noble and ended up in prison for 30 years.
Oh, okay, crazy.
And then it's you coming out the other end, and it manipulates your stats that way. So like, if you roll and you don't roll intelligent enough to become a space fleet officer or whatever it is, then like your only available options are like farmer, life of crime, and then you kind of go that way. So the character creation is very in depth, and I enjoy it. But then the actual game mechanics can be quite unforgiving, and it's just like, oh, you're spaced. That
Yeah.
sucks. Oh, you didn't buy enough food before you left port. You starve. That
That's
sucks.
scary. Especially
Yeah.
if you like spent like hours creating a character and you finally rolled a guy you like. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
actually, you're just dead. What? What? See,
That sucks.
I mean, young Eric probably would have been pretty happy with that Traveler system because I used to think it's like, oh, everything has to be random. Like nothing can be under the player's control.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
how tall are you? Well, let's roll on a table and find. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be into that when I was younger, and then like there's a part of me that grew to hate that. And it's like, why can't I just play a 6'4", whatever pound guy that I want? Why can't I just and like so that's where I am now, where it's like you get to decide everything about your character. I don't like you get to play who
Yeah.
you want to play if we're playing this game. So like that's where I am at. So like those Traveler tables that freaks me out a little bit as a role
Yeah,
player.
no, for sure. But I will say there's a Traveler set that, let me look at it here. It's the Pirates of Drinax and the Trojan Reach, which are like, you get the Traveler rule book, and then it's basically a campaign setting.
Okay.
And it's like one of the best written campaign settings I've ever seen. So it comes with I think this map has to be 5 feet by 4 feet. Like it's this tiny little tightly packed thing, and then you unfold it, and it's the map of like this one region of the galaxy, and it has these incredibly well written, compelling ships that are these pirates that are just like out there, and it never tells you how to interact with these pirates or like what are they necessarily gonna do. But then you get into like the ship descriptions, and it's like, this is the captain, Sasha the Red. Sasha is a 35-year-old human woman, and like you get all of these wonderful descriptions, and then each of the ships has this like political setup. So it's like, oh, the first mate on Sasha's ship actually wants her job, and she's gonna find a way to space Sasha as soon as she like. It's just like,
wow.
what is happening? Oh my god! But it's really good. It's incredibly well written. The downside is that it is so complex and so dense. Like you could study it and probably get through it, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's there's a lot to work with. It just like there's inside of the set is also like 78 ships. So here's the
Jeez.
blueprints, here's the engines,
Yeah.
here's how it works inside of the system, and then the core rulebook is a separate one entirely. My friend and I like really sat down and dug into it, and we were like, you could write almost a dissertation level amount of knowledge on preparing this thing
Hmm.
and still miss certain details.
Yeah, it's amazing to see like how much some people put into their games. Like 78 ships, that's insane. It's amazing.
It's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Um, and then one of the things, oh, and Call of Cthulhu. I've got that around here somewhere.
Yeah, I
Monster
want
of the
to. I
Week.
played like one adventure called Cthulhu. It was fun. It was a good time. I'm into Monster of the
The,
Week now. Actually, I really love Monster of the
nice.
Week.
The thing
Um,
about Call of Cthulhu is that you have to understand that the game ends with your players dying at some point.
yeah,
Like
my guy had his
there's
armor friends.
no
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's no renewal of resources in that game.
No.
You just burn their sanity and luck down to the point where they die.
Yeah.
I have a from my I recorded a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition one
Yeah. What?
shot.
That's on your podcast, isn't it?
It
Oh,
is,
I gotta
yeah.
listen to that.
And it's an adventure, man. I had a lot of fun writing it and recording it, and I think it's one of the best ones I've ever done. And it's a grind, and of course, it's only like 3 hours. So over the course of 3 hours, like I'm grinding people down, and it's I took my inspiration from the Twilight Zone.
Nice. That's really cool.
So in the beginning, it has this like little monologue from the narrator talking about like, come with me and disassociate your mind from your reality. Blink your eyeballs to the point where you're no longer seeing the world that you perceive. You know, it's stuff like that. Like it's very. We
Man, I want
set
to
it in
play a
the
game with you now.
50s.
This is amazing.
Let's do it, man. We'll have a good time.
Yeah. I'll DM for you. Because you're always
Oh,
a DM. Let's play Monster of the Week or something. It'll be fun. Let's do it.
sure.
Um,
Sounds great. I'll fire it into
yeah,
the Canadian one shot Discord, which that thing is just going to be spitting out one shots.
yeah, yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I got into Monster of the Week because of the Adventure Zone, and
Classic. Yeah, yeah.
so
I actually just finished a Monster of the Week campaign.
oh yeah, nice. What did you guys do? Was it
So
just homebrew or
we
is it from the Tome of Mysteries or
no, we ran homebrew.
yeah? Homebrew is
And
so
it
easy with Monster of the Week. Like
totally.
it's so amazing.
Uh, we had 5 of us, 6 of us got
Okay,
together, and we were like, "Hey, let's play a game, but let's rotate GM." So everybody got an opportunity to GM,
nice.
and we set it in 1960s Alberta.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we just pass it off. So it was just like, well, why is this person missing? Who cares? They're just not there. Don't worry about it. Don't peel the
Yeah,
layer back too much.
yeah.
So we were just a monster hunting gang, and we were all kids who had come from a cult that like summoned demons and stuff like 20 years previous.
Oh, cool.
So the cult's gone now, but the character that I played was haunted, a possessed,
Okay. Yeah.
a monstrous. That's what it was. And then we had a little like psychic medium, like 16-year-old girl,
Cool.
and
Cool.
then the investigator who ran their own like tabloid newspaper. So just
Cool. Cool.
really
Cool.
leaning into the investigator, newspaper
Yeah.
article writer, reporter. And the best part was he has a journalism degree.
Nice.
So some of the stuff that he would come up was really great. And then my girlfriend actually played the Disbeliever,
Oh, cool.
based off of Shane Madej. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're off of BuzzFeed.
Okay.
So they would go, Shane and I forget what is Ryan. They would go to like haunted areas, and Shane would like taunt and provoke the ghosts
Oh,
to try
cool.
and get
Cool.
them to
Cool.
come out. Um, so stuff like, I'm on your bridge, goat man. Fuck you, goat man.
That's good. When we did so we've done one whole mystery of Monster of the Week. So Connor was like moving, so like we didn't. There's only 3 of us that could play. It's me, Liam, and our buddy Taylor. And I had prepped this for other friends a while ago and played it, and like so we needed something to do on our recording night. So what we did most of the week, it was a Western. So Taylor's the sheriff, Liam's the deputy, and it's my favorite thing we've played. Most of the week in the Wild West was a lot of fun. Like,
Yeah,
just
the Powered by the Apocalypse is a really good system. I
simple.
find Monster of the
Yeah,
Week to be a little constraining after a while because it's not really open to different interpretations of things. It's kind of like, okay, I roll to investigate a mystery,
yeah,
or I want to read a bad situation, and you just
yeah,
kind of use the same things.
yeah. I get that.
But
Yeah,
it's a good break, a departure from traditional games. It's a different way of looking at things, especially when the GM doesn't do anything. One of the
yeah.
ones that I really want to do is 10 Candles.
10 candles. I'm gonna write that down
Yeah,
too.
10 Candles is a horror mystery game where you're all running from a killer beast of some sort.
Okay.
And you have 10 candles, and you're supposed to play it in person. So you have all the lights are off, and you have these 10 candles.
Oh, that's amazing.
Um, and you extinguish candles to keep your players alive. And the idea is that you eventually end the game narrating your horrific death scenes and what it means to you and what kind of truths and stuff come out of it as you are like extinguishing the last candles in front of you and stuff like that. It sounds incredibly macabre, and I'm very interested in it.
That does sound really cool.
Yeah, I listen to Chaotic Creations pretty regularly. They're another podcast that's out there, and they love it, and their explanation of it makes me want to try it.
Yeah, there's so many. Just I don't know. I'm so glad I'm starting to branch out from Pathfinder D&D world because there's so many cool things out there. So many people are so
Just
creative. Yeah.
just not base 20, like
Yeah.
Shadowrun with the dice pool is really interesting, where you're just looking to roll as many 5s and 6s as possible, and you're like, I rolled to shoot my gun. Hold on, let me pick up 36-sided dice, and you're just throwing them out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's I miss
Yeah.
that about D&D when it's like, I have all the guardsmen. Let's do this, and you throw like
Yeah.
100 d6s, and you're just picking them out. It's, yeah, I'm gonna kill some space marines. Jeez.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So you want to call it? I think close enough to
Yeah.
9:30. This was a
yeah,
lot of fun.
I gotta
Thanks.
I gotta jet.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming out. You killed an elder god with me twice. It was great.
You did the majority of the work. I was
I
just
think I
here
did.
hoping you died.
Yeah, that's what people are supposed to be here for. So I got one TPK tonight. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that.
You should be. You did well.
Yeah.
But this was super great. I really appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
And I will like happily come back on if you need someone else to encourage you to die.
We'll definitely have you back on at some point in the future. This was fun. It was really great getting to know you, hearing about your podcast, hearing about your games. It's getting to know other people in this crazy world is a lot of fun. All right,
Yeah,
so
let's listen to the Call of Cthulhu one shot and then decide if you want to play Call of Cthulhu with me.
it's great. I'm gonna throw out your. Oh, I don't have the thing open anymore. I'll make sure I tweet out all your stuff. We'll get everything out to people. Again, thanks so much, Logan. Have a great night. Good night, everyone.
You
Thanks
too.
for coming to the stream.
Bye.
Bye.